Hey everybody, another con support video. This time it's on adding and subtracting negative numbers. So let me go through that con skill with you guys. So here we can see it, adding and subtracting negative numbers. Click on it, we'll get started. I'm gonna use my digital whiteboard here to help me out. So let's just take this, I'll delete this stuff. Let's see if I can get that to get deleted. All right, delete this, delete. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna leave that up here so we can kind of copy the problems and go through them. My little floating face can stay. Oh, where should I move my floating face? I should move my floating face up here. Oh, that looks much nicer. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to evaluate 1 minus negative 3 minus 5. So let's go through and do that. You have 1, take away negative 3, take away positive 5. Okay? So we're going to change our subtraction to addition first. That's your first step. So you notice that there's two subtractions there. So we're going to change our subtraction to addition. And the way we do that is we add the opposite. So when we change that subtraction to addition, we take whatever was being subtracted and we make it its opposite. What's the opposite of negative 3? Positive 3. What's the opposite of positive 5? Negative 5. So ultimately what you really have here is the 1 comes down along for the ride. You got 1 plus positive 3 plus negative 5. And once you have that, you can put on a scoreboard. So on the positive side, you have a 1 and a 3. And on the negative side, you have the 5. And who's going to win? Well, the total positive is 4. So total positive versus total negative, 4 versus 5. Negative is going to win. So we know the answer is a negative value. And then how much did it win by? Just take away the losing side. So what's 5 take away 4? 1. So the answer is negative 1. So those steps there are real simple. Just find your subtraction, rewrite your subtraction as addition. Remember, subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. Put it on a scoreboard or use any other adding integers method you're comfortable with. All right, so the answer here should be a negative 1. Let's put it in. And let's do the next problem. Okay, so this has got some bigger numbers. Let's go through it. So let's erase this stuff. All that goes away. And we're left with a new problem here, which is, move it over a little bit. There we go. It's going to be 19 minus 11 plus negative 17 plus negative 19 plus 11. Now, this one I could put on a scoreboard, but they're kind of messing with you a little bit. Let me show you why. So we have one subtraction here, take away 11. And that's the same as adding the opposite. So what's the opposite of positive 11? Negative 11. So ultimately what you really have here is 19 plus negative 11 plus negative 17 plus negative 19 plus 11, right? But you know that any number plus its opposite is going to be worth 0, right? So we're adding all these things together. You've got a negative 11 and a positive 11, which means that those two are worth nothing. They go away to 0. Bye-bye. And you've got a negative 19 being added to a positive 19. Once again, 19 minus 19 is going to be 0, so that goes away. Bye-bye. And all you're really left with is the answer, which is negative 17. So you don't need to do a scoreboard for this one. It's just going to be negative 17. And that's that. Next question. So the next question we have here, I'm going to erase all this fun stuff from the last one. Bye-bye. The next question is going to be 2 minus 3 plus negative 5 plus negative 3. So ask yourself, what subtraction do you see? There's a subtraction there. All right, that's the only subtraction I see. Let's rewrite all of our subtraction as addition. So what is it taking away here? It's taking away positive 3. So you're going to add the opposite of positive 3, which is negative 3. So taking away positive 3 is exactly the same as adding a negative 3. And then you're going to add negative 5, and you're going to add negative 3. And you're going to put it on a scoreboard, okay? So scoreboard method, you got a 2 on the positive side, you got a 3 on the negative side, you got a 5 on the negative side, you got a 3 on the negative side. Add up your total negative, you get 6 plus 5, which is 11. Who's going to win, positive or negative? The negative. By how much? Well, what's 11 take away 2? 9. So that means the answer is going to be negative 9. And that's what you put. So negative 9. Negative 9. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so that's the scoreboard method. I like it. It's very organized. It works really well. If you wanted to do a different method, you could do 2 at a time. I'll show you that on this one. So let's go through it. Delete. All right, cool. Let's get rid of all this and have a clear space to work on. So the next problem is 14 plus negative 9 plus negative 9, right? You could do this 2 at a time. And if you did it 2 at a time, what it would look like is this. There's no subtraction to change to addition, so we're just going to go through and add our integers. 14 plus negative 9, the sign's different, so find the difference. Who's going to win? Positive, because 14 is a larger absolute value. How much is it going to win by? What's 14 take away 9? 5. So you have positive 5 now plus a negative 9. The signs are different, so you're going to find the difference. Who's going to win this time? The negative 9 is a larger absolute value, so the negative wins. So the answer is going to be negative. And by how much? What's 9 take away 5? 4. So the final answer here would be negative 4. Alternatively, you could have put this directly on a scoreboard. And if you put it on a scoreboard, this is what it would look like. 14 on the positive side, 9 and 9 on the negative side. Add up your total negative, compare it to your total positive. 18 versus 14, negative wins by 4. And you can subtract if you want to show that process. And that's how you would get the answer. Either way, you're going to end up with negative 4 as your answer. So let's go put that in. Negative 4. Bada bing, bada boom. Next question, we're going to do 3 take away negative 1 plus negative 1 minus 3. So let's go and erase all this fun stuff. And we'll start again. This time the problem is 3 take away negative 1 plus negative 1 minus 3. It's got a lot of the same values, so I'm thinking they're probably doing that same thing where they're kind of trying to trick us with values. So I'm looking for subtraction. I see subtraction here and here. Okay, so we're going to now change our subtraction to addition. So this is 3 plus the opposite of negative 1. What's the opposite of negative 1? Positive 1. And then you're going to add to that a negative 1. And then you're going to change the subtraction to addition. Change what was being subtracted to its opposite. So they're taking away a positive 3. What's the opposite of positive 3? Negative 3. And so now we can go through and combine. And what we notice here, hopefully, is that 3 plus negative 3 is 0. And 1 plus negative 1 is also 0. So guess what? This is worth nothing. It is worth 0. And last but not least here, we have a new problem. This problem is, erase this stuff, negative 5 minus 15 plus 4 plus 15. Okay, now I'm looking at this and I see minus 15 plus 15. I'm thinking that's going to cancel out. It will, of course. But I want to show you the process. So this is a negative 5. Because it's a lead value, we can just call it a negative, not a subtraction. So this is negative 5. We are going to change the subtraction to addition. So taking away a positive 15 is the same as adding the opposite of positive 15, which is negative 15. And then everything else just comes along for the ride. Nothing else was really changed here. So now we can just do plus 4 and then plus 15. Well, when we're looking at this, we can see that you've got a negative 15 being added to a positive 15. So that's a 0. So it's really just negative 5 plus 4. That's what this boils down to. And negative 5 plus 4, the signs are different, so find the difference. Who's going to win? Your negatives. By how many? 1. So the answer is negative 1. All right, and that's that. If you wanted to put it on the scoreboard directly at this point, before you took out that 0, you could have, right? What would happen if you put it on the scoreboard straight away right there? You would get 5 on the negative side, 15 on the negative side. You get 4 on the positive side, 15 on the positive side. You add up your totals, and you end up with 20 versus 19. Who's going to win? The negative by that very same one. Right? So you can just put it directly on the scoreboard once you have it all as addition. But I recommend that if you recognize the inverse property of addition, right, where you can cancel opposites out, just cancel them out then. Okay. All right. Bye. Oh, we have to answer in. Oops. It was negative 1, right? Is that right? Yeah, negative 1. Negative 1. And do I get confetti? Let's see. Oh, yeah. No confetti. Oh, yay, confetti. I got it. Sweet.